Hello everyone, this is a video tutorial for your Notan project. So I don't have all the steps written out for this project, so I'm actually just making a video to show you instead of writing out step-by-step instructions. So first off, I have this paper here in Google Classroom. Also, it's printed in your classroom as well. And if you guys have never heard of Notans, it's a design element used for creating compositions in art. The Japanese use the term notan to describe an important element of design. This concept involves the play of light versus dark. Notan means dark versus light harmony. Okay, so this is a project that I've been doing for years and years and years in my traditional art classroom, where my students would create positive, negative designs out of construction paper. They would cut it out with X-Acto knives and then have to glue all these teeny tiny little pieces with, they would have to glue them down with either Elmer's glue or glue stick or rubber cement. So it was always a very complicated project just because we had so many little pieces and then using X-Acto knives. So this is the first year I'm doing this. I'm super excited. You guys are my first students to be doing it. So your examples will be the inspiration for next year's students, okay? So let's just look at the paper. It says that your requirements, you must have at least 2 cutout shapes per side and demonstrate evidence that you've experimented with positive and negative imagery. I hope that you challenge yourself with this project. I hope you have fun, but I also hope that you can create something that is inspirational, not only for yourself, but for next year's students as well. Okay. And let's see. Okay, so on the paper, I told you that I wanted you to first do some research. I want you to go to Google Images, type in Notan designs, and just start getting an idea. Like, are you interested in doing abstract, or are you wanting to do something very specific? I've had students in the past do very complicated designs like Disney characters and letters and writing words. So it could be a little mixture of organic and representational design, something that you recognize, and I want you to just research it first. Okay, so take the time, go through all these, get an idea of which direction you want to go. Okay, they're absolutely breathtaking designs, so hopefully you'll get inspired by just looking at all these. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get started. So I want you to go File. Oh, actually, let me get in Photoshop. Okay, so go File and go New. You're going to call it Notan Design and space, last name, first name, and P12345 6. Make sure it's in inches, and I want you to do 14 inches wide by 14 inches high. Use resolution 150, background white. Okay, and then hit create. Okay, go ahead and start with a new layer. Before we get started, let's go ahead and get your rulers out. Remember, you can go to View and go to Rulers, or you can just do Command R, which will give you your rulers. So our paper is 14 by 14. So let's go ahead. I want to find the center point. So go ahead. It should snap in place at 7 inches and 7 inches. So now we have our center point. Before we get to before we start making our black square, I want to actually show you, well, actually, let's come up here and grab your marquee tool, grab your rectangular marquee tool. And notice up here, you will see that you have, this is just a single selection. This is if you want to add more selections to it. And then also notice if you have numbers in here. If you have a number in your feather, take it back down to 0. So make sure you have 0 feathering. We don't want any feathering for this project. Okay, so next thing I want you to do, go ahead and zoom in to your center. Find your center point, okay, and I want you, make sure that you have this selected, your rectangular marquee selected. I want you to click on the center, okay, with your mouse. So hold down your mouse, keep it held down, hold down Shift and Option and drag out your selection. And you want to look at your width and your height as you drag it out. And you want to stop at 7 inches. So I'm just gonna stop talking. Okay, so, and then remember to let go of your mouse before you let go of your keys. Okay, you want to fill that with black. So make sure you have black as your foreground. Hit the D key if you don't, and then hit Option Delete. That should fill it. Okay, we want to deselect our square. So remember, you can always come here, select, deselect, or you can just do the shortcut, which is Command D is the shortcut for deselect. Okay, so now if I zoom back out, you can see that you have a black square inside your big white square. Okay, we don't need our blue guidelines anymore, so you can go to the shortcut for getting rid of them is Command semicolon, gets rid of your blue lines. We don't need our rulers anymore, so Command R also gets rid of your rulers. Okay. Okay, so now before we do anything, I need to talk to you about, well, I have some examples here to show you. So in getting ready for this video, I started making some examples. So you can see I was just playing around with making organic shapes here. And then I was noticing that when I first started doing this, I was noticing that some of my shapes were nice and clear and crisp, and then some of my shapes were fuzzy and my edges were fuzzy looking. And I was like, what's happening here? So I figured out what was going on. So I'll make sure that that doesn't happen for you. You can do, we can play around with shapes. You can draw it with your lasso tool. You can use letters. You can use the shape tool, the pen tool. So there's lots of ways that we can go to draw our design. Okay. Let's look at this one here. So once again, you can see that some of them are fuzzy and some of them are clear. So I'll make sure that that doesn't happen to you. And I was doing more intricate design work here. And then I was playing around with the shape tool here. So I'll show all that to you when we do yours. Okay. So here we go. So you have your black square. So basically all we're going to do is I'll just do something very simple for you first to start with, okay? And you're going to, let's just start with using a lasso tool, okay? Something very easy so you can get the idea, okay? When you come up here with your lasso tool, let's just go ahead, make sure that it's also set to 0, okay? Make sure every time you get a selection, you make sure you look up here. That's the most important thing. Make sure you have 0 feather, okay? I'm just going to draw something very organic at this point. I'm just going to draw a shape like that, okay? And then I'm just going to come around. Actually, I want to make sure, come around and make sure that it's closed in, okay? Now, I have a selection. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here and make sure that I don't have any feathering down here. So go to feather and make sure, I don't know, let's see if I can do, let's see, I don't think I can do 0. Let's see if I can do 0. No, yeah, it's going to make you do 1. So hit 1, okay? Make sure that you have nothing higher than 1, hit okay. Keep going, make sure that there's nothing set besides, so contract, make sure you have that set to 1, hit okay. Keep going all the way. Every single selection in your modify, do that on, okay? So I'm just going to stop here, but you get the idea. So you should do that on your own. Okay, so now since we cut out from the top, we want to just go ahead and flip this up. Okay, so if we were doing this traditionally, we would cut it out and then we would flip it and glue it. But with Photoshop, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Edit, Transform, and we're going to flip vertical. Okay, and when you flip vertical, it's flipped. I'm going to go grab my move tool and I'm going to move it up. Okay, and then I'm just going to place it right there where it was and then hit Command D. Okay, so you get the idea. Anytime you do any transforming on the top and the bottom, you're going to flip vertical. I'll do an example here on the side, and we're going to flip horizontal when we do the sides. So I'll come over here, I'll grab the polygonal lasso tool. So I'm just going to do something like that. Okay, and you want to come up, grab your move tool. Okay, and because we're on the side, we want to flip horizontal. So go edit, transform, and flip horizontal. Grab your move tool and move it, and it should come right into where your line is, and then do Command D, deselect. You know what? I noticed that I need to move it up a little bit, so I'm just going to take my up arrow and move it up. I think that's better than Command D. Okay. So when you're doing cutouts on your sides, you want to go edit, transform, flip horizontal. And when you do cutouts on your top and your bottom, you want to go edit, transform, flip vertical. Okay. So that was using the lasso tool. That was using the lasso tool and the polygonal lasso tool. Do not use the magnetic lasso tool. That will not work for this project. Okay. Now you also can use your rectangular marquee tool or your ellipse marquee tool. So I'll just go ahead and get the rectangular marquee tool, and I'll make another selection here. So let's just hold down. Let's see, I'm just going to do something like that. Okay, and go edit, transform, and flip horizontal since I'm on the sides. I'm going to grab my move tool, and I'm going to, so because I wanted to go right out from this point, if I hold down my shift key, I can drag it out, then I know it's right there. Okay, then Command D. Okay, and then I also could do the same thing here. You can never do any cutouts. So basically, if I turn off my white background, this is transparent. You can only cut out from your black paper. So if I want to do another shape and then cut it out here and then flip it here, I had to make sure that I cut in my black. Okay, I'm going to zoom in so you can see me doing that. So I'm going to go over here, get my my rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to hold down my shift key. I'm just going to do something like this. Now, before I do any selection, I can take my arrow keys and move it over. So I'm just taking my arrow key and moving it over. It looks like it's on the edge there. So I'm just going to put it right like that. Okay, and then I'm going to edit, transform, and flip horizontal, and grab my move tool. I'm going to hold down my shift key and then drag it over, and then make sure that it is in place there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then do Command D, deselect. Okay, and if I zoom out, you can sort of see, there I go. Okay, so I think you're getting the idea. I don't want to take too long with this tutorial, so I'm just going to show you. So that's with you using, you could do the same thing with your elliptical marquee tool as well. You know what, since I'm up here, let me go ahead and just show you something. Some of you are going to want to do some cutouts inside here, and then you want to know how to place it out there. So let me zoom in. If you guys are wanting to do like a circle in here, I'm just going to hold down the shift key to get a perfect circle. Okay, and let's say I want this up here. I'm just going to take my arrow keys and move it up. Okay, let's say I want it all the way up in there. Move my left arrow, my right arrow, move it up here. Okay, and I'm going to then, how am I going to know where this circle should go out here? So I'm going to first go edit, transform, and I want to flip horizontal. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab my move tool. I'm going to hold down my shift key, and then I know that I'm going straight across. So I just have to sort of look at where it is in close to my zigzag line inside, and it looks like it's about there. So I'm going to do Command D. Okay, and now you can see that this is in the same spot. So that circle is close to that shape there, and then I have it right here. Okay, so you can do like really intricate details with that sort of that concept. Okay, so let me zoom back out. So some of you are going to be interested in doing a letter, or you can actually just use your polygonal lasso tool if you want to just write your let me just zoom out a little bit so I can see. Put that up here. If you want to just, I'm going to do an N here for my name. Just hold down okay. I'm just doing this really, really, really fast. Gosh. Oh gosh, this isn't perfect, but you get the idea. There's my N. Now, because it's on the bottom, I'm going to edit, transform, and flip vertical. Grab my move tool, move it down. Okay, and there's my letter, Command D. Now, if you're interested in doing text letters, you can do that as well, but it's not as easy, okay? So you can actually get your text tool opened up. You want to actually use white as your foreground if you're going to do this. I'm going to just go ahead and let's see. How about something that you would be able to notice? I'm just going to do that one here. Okay, let's make sure that it's bold so you can, oh gosh, let's see. I'm wanting to get the bold, but I don't want to take forever, so I'll just go ahead. I have no idea. Let's see what this size is. I have no idea what this is going to look like. Just go ahead and that's interesting. Oh, so I want that to be filled with white. It looks like that, but I have no idea why it's an L. So let me go ahead and put in the letter N, okay? And then I'm just going to hit enter. Oh gosh. Let's see. Maybe come up and grab my move tool. Okay, here's my N. Clearly I need it bigger, so I'm going to do Command T and make it bigger. I notice that I have this, since I just made my perspective 1-point designs, I forgot to take this off. So I will get rid of that later on. Okay, so I'm just going to do this N right here and hit enter. Okay, here it is. I'm going to take it, move it here, and move it to my edge. Let's see, I'm just going to take my down arrow, move it to my edge. Okay, so now this is a little bit more complicated. So you have your N on this layer here, or your letter on this layer here. I want to just Command J, duplicate it, and I actually want to fill that with, let's see if I can do this or not. If I do Command thumbnail, and then I want to fill it with black so I can actually see what I'm doing. So Option Delete. I hope this works. I don't know if that's working or not. Oh, you know what? That's probably because, okay, let's go ahead and do edit. Oh gosh, it's not even going to let me do anything. So I think I have to rasterize. So Command D, what I'm going to do is rasterize my type. And then I'm going to come over here and rasterize my type. Come back up here, do Command thumbnail. Now I should be able to fill it. So Option Delete fills it. Okay, and I'm going to edit, transform, and flip vertical. Grab my move tool and move it down, holding down my shift key, and there's my N. Okay, it's a mirror image, Command D. Now you can see that I have these ends on top, so I'm just going to then Command E, and then also up here, Command E. Okay, so now it's like that. So you can do that with all your letters. Okay, same thing. You can also do it with a shape tool. Okay, and I'll do more of this in class. I'm going to spend a lot more time in detail with your shape tool, but I just want to do something quick and easy. And then I want you to definitely experiment, explore when you're doing it at home. Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to do a shape over here. Go ahead and grab your shape. You can get a star. Well, you know what? You can actually get a star in your custom shape tool. So let's just go up here. Before you do anything, because we're going to draw it first on the black paper, you want to make sure that your fill is set to white. You want to make sure that you have no stroke. And then I'm going to come over here and I'll just go ahead and get a, see, I'm just going to do the butterfly. Okay, I'm going to grab the butterfly. Okay, and then hit enter to get out. And I'm going to be filling it in white here. So I'm just going to first just hold down my shift key just so I can draw a, okay. And then you can see that it's a shape over here. So I'm going to rasterize my shape. Okay, and then I am going to, since it's up here, I can just take my move tool and I can move it. Now I can do some things. I can move it here, and then I know that I just have to fill this side with black. So how can I do that? I can go ahead and Command J, duplicate it, right? I can come here, Command thumbnail, and fill it with black. Fill it with black. So if I do it with black, Option Delete fills it. And then what else can I do? Let's see, Command D, and then I'm just, thinking out loud here. Then I can, since I'm up here on this shape, I can just make a rectangular selection, but there's a lot more options for you. I'm just going to actually hit delete, and that actually gets rid of that black wing over here. Okay, Command D. And there's probably a bunch of different ways to do this, but this is just an easy way. Or, you guys might have a better way, and then just share what you guys explored and found out. So that way I can help others. Okay. You're going to go over here, and then you're just going to Command E. You're going to come up here, Command E, and that's how you do shapes. Okay. So I'm just going to shrink this. Let's see if there's anything else that I'm not thinking about. Okay, that should get you started. Oh, okay. Also, when you guys do your project and you notice that if you draw something, let me just do that real quick. I'm just going to take my lasso tool, and let me just say, if you guys draw something and it's super, long, right? And you come up here and then you want to flip it vertical, right? If I go edit, transform, and flip vertical, grab my move tool, it's going to run off my paper, right? So you have to know that when you guys come to do your cutout, if you go past your halfway part, if you go past your halfway, then it's not going to fit on your paper. Okay, so which is fine, but you have to understand that I'm going to try to see if I can do this. I think it's going to probably be cut off here. So, how can I do this? I am going to grab my move tool, and I'm going to move this over here. And I'm just, let's see, how about if I put it on a new layer? I'm going to do actually Command J, put it up there, because I'm doing this for a reason. Okay, I'm going to be down here. I'm actually going to delete this down here. I'm trying to think of how to do this quickly because I'm on the video, right? And then, oh gosh, let me just go ahead and add to that and delete that. Oh shoot, I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, so delete, yeah. So delete that down here. If I turn that off, yes, it's deleted. Command D. Okay, now I'm going to come over here on my bottom layer, Command T. I'm going to shrink this down. I think you're going to get the idea in a second why I'm doing this. Or actually, you know what? I'm not going to shrink it down. I'm just going to move it down. I think that makes more sense. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Let's see, Command T, and take my down arrow, bring it down, 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 down. I don't know how far I need to go. And then hit enter. Now I can come over here, grab my move tool, go back up here, try and do this in a hurry. And now it should fit. Okay. I could come down here, still lower that some more if you're actually needing that extra space. And then also do the same thing. Okay, so some of you, depending on your designs, you might need to do something like that. You also can scale this down as well. Okay, you can also make it bigger. So if I finish a design, let's say that this design is finished here and I have all my requirements met, I can also Command T and I can actually make it bigger. Okay, so you can make it bigger, smaller, scale it down. Okay, so anyway, that gives you an idea of how to do your Notan. I want you to just go ahead and have fun and really challenge yourself with doing lots of interesting shapes and getting to really know how to use the selection tools and your transform tool. Okay, so go ahead after you're done, export it and then submit it into Google Classroom. Okay, then that's it for this tutorial. I will see you soon in class.